Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil, and today I want to take a look at Miraidon EX, and the particular list I want to consider is the one we get in the basic battle pass at tier 0. This list without any upgrades is what we're going to consider today. So with this list we get 2 Miraidon EX, it's got 220 HP, it's a basic Pokemon, it's got Photon Blaster attack, does 220 damage for 3 energy, which is reasonable. The Pokemon can attack the next turn, so you need to switch it out, but we can make that happen with the way this deck is built. What really makes this Pokemon useful is the tandem unit ability. Once during your turn, may you search your deck for up to 2 basic lightning Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. So if we get even one Miraidon into play on turn 1, it gives us the ability to really get a number of lightning Pokemon into play. There's a good chance we can fill up our bench on turn 1, which sets us up well for the rest of the game. To help power things up, it plays 4 Flaaffies, the stage 1 with Dynamotor's ability. Once during a turn, you may attach a lightning energy card from the discard pile to one of your bench lightning Pokemon. Plays 4 Mareeps to evolve from. It does have an attack on Flaaffy. We very rarely want to use that. But then it does play 1 Ampharos, the stage 2, that evolves from Flaaffy. And at times that has some value. There are 2 attacks that you might want to use depending on the situation. One is Thunder Shock. It does 50 damage. And then you flip a coin if heads your opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. Paralysis is certainly effective in terms of impeding your opponent's progress in the game. Obviously, it's a coin toss, so you don't want to rely on that. Although for some low HP Pokemon, maybe 50 is enough to get the knockout too. But then the more useful attack is Lightning Searchlight Tail. It does 90 damage, and then your opponent reveals their hand. If you find any energy cards there, it does 90 more. So 180 damage for 2 energy if your opponent has an energy card in hand. So if your opponent has a large hand size, 180 is often a useful amount of damage. So it is useful, although it's certainly not the primary attacker. You want the Miraidon EX. Then you have 2 different Regielekis to choose from also. One with Static Shock for 20, and then Terra Spark for 3 energy, does 120. And you discard all of your lightning energy from it, which isn't great. But again, we have Flaaffies to power up the next attacker. And you discard all light, and then the attack also does 40 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So 120 the active, 40 to 2 bench, hopefully setting up the ability to finish off, say, a multi-prize Pokemon with Miraidon the next turn. And then also other Regieleki with 2, again, attacks that both have value at different times. Electromagnetic Sonar, not the most useful attack, but for 1 energy, you put a trainer card from the discard pile into your hand. So this is an attack to use if you can't do any meaningful damage, but you want to get a trainer in to set up your next turn. So it is worth using occasionally. And then target a bolt. For 3 energy, you discard 2 lightning energy from this Pokemon. The attack does 120 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it can't hit into the active, but it is good for finishing off a bench or taking off a key card that's an engine piece within your opponent's deck. So useful there. And then it does play 4 Pachirisu, which I kind of enjoy, but it doesn't do a ton of damage. It does, every 1 discharge does 10 damage plus 20 more for each bench lightning Pokemon. And it doesn't impact weakness, so it can do 110 damage if you have a full bench, which is enough to knock out a Cramorant, but for lightning weak Pokemon, you don't get the boost of weakness, which is unfortunate. It has the ability, Electricity Pouches, so it can't be paralyzed, which is useful because paralysis isn't seen a lot, but it is very disruptive when it does happen. So it has some value there. And it's a retreat cost of 1, so you can put it in the active and switch it out the next turn if need be. And it plays 1 Lumineon V, which allows you to search for a supporter in your deck. So again, I don't see that this card is overly necessary in the deck, but it does have value on occasion. Plays 14 basic energy because we want to get a lot of energies accelerated. And then a very simple trainer list, only 8 trainers in total. This is fewer different trainers than most lists, just 3 supporters. 4 research, obviously good to help get things set up. 3 Zinnia's Resolve, where you discard 2 cards and draw a card per opponent's Pokemon in play that's active and benched. So potentially up to 6 cards, guaranteed at least 1 card draw. Obviously, discarding Lightning Energy is useful, so that's one of the values to Zinnia's Resolve. And 3 bosses order, obviously, to gust up and control the opponent's Pokemon that you're hitting into. For Pokemon Search, 4 Level Ball to get the Mareeps and the Flaaffys, and then 4 Ultra Balls, where obviously you discard. Again, discarding some Lightning is useful to get your Miraidon EX in play. Any of your Regieleki, Lumineon, or the Ampharos. All you need to use Ultra Ball to search those out. Then 2 Escape Rope to switch, because again, Miraidon doesn't stream attacks, and you are accelerating only to the benched with Flaaffy's ability. 3 Energy Search to get things going, and then 3 Beach Court, which is very useful for this deck, as well as Lost Zone likes it too. Reduces the retreat cost of basic Pokemon by 1 energy. So in particular, get up a 1 retreat cost basic, and so you can switch out the following turn with it. Which means Miraidon EX fits that role, and also the Pachirisu does also. Alright, so we'll jump in and see how the deck works for us. It's a pretty good deck list. I mean, the list is okay. It's a pretty good deck, though, because Miraidon EX is quite solid. It's probably, my experience with the deck, I think it's better in general than the 8 starter decks, but it's certainly not as good as the other top decks, especially in this build, which is far from optimized. Later on, we'll be considering how to improve the deck list. So starting, the one card I definitely don't want to start, which is Lumineon V. Obviously, now I can't use its ability, and I have no value. The Lumineon V is of no use for the rest of this game. So this is not great. I'll get down 2 Mareeps and a Pachirisu. I could save it for a Flaaffy, but I think I'll put down a Pachirisu, which I could attack with. I will attach to Pachirisu because I may attack with it. Now, I lose 20 damage by having the Lumineon V in place, so now I'm capped at 90 damage. Usually, you manage to get a Miraidon EX into play turn 1, and then things set up much better. Here, I obviously did not have access to Miraidon EX, so things didn't get going. So up against a Miraidon EX deck, probably a better build than mine, since this is the most basic and most limited of builds with this game. This is the Zacian deck, so actually, right, which uses the Lightning, the Miraidon, to help get things set up. So I discard 2 cards to use Zinnias, so I want to discard 2 energy, I think. I will use my Energy Search. I want to play down the Flaaffy, but it doesn't reduce my draw. I'm not drawing until a certain number of cards. I draw 4 cards, so Flaaffy, not great, I gotta say. What do I want to do here? Put a second energy onto Pachirisu. I'm just going to pass. I could accelerate another energy. I could have played my other Pachirisu and accelerated to it. The downside is I really want to accelerate to Miraidon EX. Now, if my opponent is able to attack me with Radiant Greninja, it's basically game over for me. So we'll see what happens, and they may be able to. No, they probably don't play Water Energy, right? It's a strictly Dialga deck. They need to play 2 basic Water Energy, and they can't attach those, right? So Magnezone, right, Giga Magnet ability, they attach, look at the top 6 and attach any number of Metal Energy to any of their Metal Pokemon that they want. At this point, they can only, to any of the Pokemon, so they don't have to just attach to the Metal Pokemon. But they do need 2 Lightning Energy to attack with Miraidon. They don't have any energy attached yet, so attach to Magnezone makes sense. They could attack with that. Attaching one there. Use their ability end turn. So, you know, that's why Rotom V does have value in this deck. All right. So I can get down Miraidon EX, which I want to do that for sure. Let's see. I don't have another Miraidon in the deck. That's unfortunate. I have my Regielekis. What's the energy card? I have one energy in the discard, so do I want to attack? So 90. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can one-shot my opponent's Lumineon, right? I'll do 90. I'll do 180 with. Oh no, Pachirisu does not get boosted for weakness. All right, I'm gonna research though. I didn't hit energy. I can't switch out of the active, so this is not good. I will just accelerate 2 energies to my Miraidon EX. So I could, if I had attached to the Lumineon, I could have retreated and attacked with the Pachirisu. Maybe that was the play. I'm not sure. It's not a great start for me. Certainly starting Lumineon's awkward. I have a Miraidon EX prize. That's not great either. So once they get a Dialga V star into play, I cannot one-shot that. I can one-shot that Dialga V with my Miraidon. So that's what I'd like to do. I have Boss, but I don't have a third energy. I need a third energy. If I drew into an energy with this hand, and then I could boss up a Dialga V, that would be a very excellent turn for me. We'll see what happens. So I think, did I discard a rope? No, I haven't. So I have 2 ropes in the deck, which will allow me to switch. And I have Boss. I can attack with Pachirisu against something. I don't one-shot anything. I can 2-shot most of these Pokemon, though. 3 of my, I can 2-shot Radiant Greninja, Magnezone, or Lumineon. I don't have the energy. What do I want to do? All right, I'm going to Zinnia's Resolve because I think I want to take out something with my Miraidon. I need an energy card. So will I get rid of one of each of my Regielekis? I will. I'm going to make that play. Okay, so I now have an energy. All right, so I'm going to rope. I probably want to hit into them with my Miraidon EX and knock them out, but we will see what happens here. I can set up my Pachirisu also. So I will knock out the Rotom V. I could get some more cards in the discard pile to accelerate. I don't think I want to do that now. I think I want to save the Ultra Ball, take 2 prizes. Hopefully I have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting a Miraidon EX, right? Because there's 2 out of these 6 cards are Miraidon EXs. Actually, it's not exactly 1 out of 3, right? Because the way the odds stack, but it's essentially 1 in 3. All right, so they have Zamazenta, which now can knock me out. See, at 220, that's one of the issues with the deck. 220 HP, they can one-shot me. They have the retreat cost paid. They need to get a third energy on, though. So we'll see what happens. I imagine they're going to get that in play. So they get down a Dialga. That is good. I wish I had hit the Miraidon EX because that way I could have knocked it out with Boss. If they don't knock me out this turn, then things are awkward for me, for sure. So they're not attacking, I think. So but I need to do a double switch here. I don't love double switch, obviously, because I can't really do it. So what are they going to do here? Well, that's not bad. Well, it's not ideal either, right? I can't, I have to retreat out the 2. Okay, so that actually causes me a good bit of grief. So I could attach to the active. I might want to do that. All right, I'm going to Ultra Ball away. No. I need energy in the discard, right? So don't do that. Go back. I'm supposed to be discarding 2 energy. I might want to get the stage 2. I think I want to use the stage. Yeah, I'm going to attack with Ampharos this turn. It limits my next turn, but so I want to accelerate with him first. Dynamotor to this Pachirisu. Evolve. Attach. And this Flaaffy, I will put it on this other Pachirisu. That might not be a good play, but it gives me some options, right? So it does 50 or 100. My opponent's paralyzed. I'll hit into the Radiant Greninja. If they're paralyzed, they can't retreat, so I hope I hit heads. It does then hit tails, unfortunately, right? So now they have free retreat, so they probably take out my Ampharos this turn. They have Dialga up. They don't have any energy on it yet, so I think they're going to be hard-pressed, right? They have the big attack, what is it? The Star Chronos, which is takes out my Miraidon with 1 shot and then takes another turn, which can take out another multi-prize Pokemon, Lumineon V, or the Miraidon, although I don't have the other Miraidon available yet. I didn't draw into it. We'll see if I knock out another 2-prizer. I'm about 50-50 odds of drawing into it. If I knock out the Radiant Greninja, 1 in 4 are the odds. So I think they drew another V-Star. They can't actually use it at this time, so I'm a bit confused by that. They haven't attached any lightning energy to the Miraidon. They need 2 energy to attack with it. A lot of they may play 2 lightning energy. Usually they don't play more than 2. So with not having to take any prizes, there's a decent chance at least 1 is prized. Or some lists don't play any lightning energy at all, because it does make the deck a little less consistent in general. So what do I do here? I think I'm going to get knocked out probably. If I don't, I have the potential. Yeah, they knocked me out exactly. That's unfortunate. I'll send up a Pachirisu. I'm probably going to attack with that. I obviously don't knock anything out, but I could knock out like maybe I should. No, I didn't have access to Regieleki, which might have been a better attacker. I think with a 90, then I have the potential to knock them out next turn. I don't know that I really want to accelerate to anything, do I? I think I just hit into them. Hope they don't knock out my Miraidon EX. They could attach 2 energy this turn. They have that ability, and then they can start Chronos. Which even if they knock out the active, I have to send up someone from the bench. No energy off that Magnezone, so that's big for me. So they probably can't use the Star Chronos attack. So that's okay. So now I take them out with Miraidon. So that's good. That worked out well. So I'll take 2 prizes. Now, let's see what happens here. All right, so Flaaffy down. He does 220. Do I want to accelerate any energy? I have a bunch of energies here. I really don't think I do, though, right? There's nothing particularly useful here. I'm not going to put anything on the bench either. So I would need to double switch to attack with this Miraidon. Hopefully I hit a Miraidon, my other Miraidon for my prizes. That would be a big plus. I did, so that's quite nice. They knock me out. I send up Pachirisu. But okay, I think as things stand now, I have game, so that is good, right? I don't even need Escape Rope, right? I send up Pachirisu. I have free retreat. Even if they were to bump my stadium, I can pay the retreat cost. So I'll send up Pachirisu. They're going to knock out my Miraidon. Take 2 prizes, but I mean, I could get judged, and then I don't know what I'll have. I probably don't have the pieces to win then. Serena, I assume they're going to discard and draw. It wouldn't, they much rather knock out the Miraidon than the Lumineon, I have to believe. So they'll knock out my Miraidon, send up the Pachirisu. I play Miraidon EX. I accelerate 2 from the discard pile. I have energy in hand, and I have boss for game. And they played Serena, so I can't get judged now. So I'm liking this position. I should have game this turn. So so the deck performed well against what's the Miraidon EX. It's a good Pokemon, and it is a solid deck. This build is far from optimal, though, I will say. And so it's definitely, I think I said it before, I think it's better than the other starter decks. Well, this is not a starter deck, actually, right? It's one on the Battle Pass. It's based on their past history. It makes sense that it's better than the other starter decks, but it's first Miraidon's not the best deck in the game anyway. And I could just take out the Lumineon, why not? I could have taken out either one. Alright, I had enough to one-shot the Dialga also. But there we go. Take 2 prizes and get game. So that worked quite nicely for me, right? So we'll jump into another game. So there we go. So the deck performed quite nicely. We'll see what I can do with another game. I've unlocked some of my made progress in the Battle Pass. Probably made progress on my daily challenges. I haven't checked those before starting here. That wasn't the focus with today's video. So today's video, again, taking the Tier 0 Miraidon EX deck that you get on the basic Battle Pass. So everyone playing Pokemon has access to this deck right now, immediately when you log in, because you just got to claim it from the Battle Pass, or collect, I think is what the terminology is. So I go first. I like that. All right, so I start a Pachirisu. That's okay. Have Ultra Ball so I can get a Miraidon. Search for Miraidon EX. So I want to get rid of the energy. And I think I'll get rid of the boss because I want to have research. Maybe I get rid of the Ampharos, though. I do like Ampharos, but I'm probably going to research next turn, which means Ampharos is gone. But it gives me the option of boss next turn, right? Whoops, so I want Miraidon EX. I will get 1 Miraidon and 1 Flaaffy. Right, I saw the second Miraidon in deck, which is good. So Miraidon and Mareep. So I want to use this Miraidon, and what do I want to get now? That's the question. I could get 2 Mareeps. I mean, I might want to attack with Regieleki. I will just grab 2 Mareeps at this point. They rope me up and knock out my active. If they rope me, I will have to send up a Mareep And I want to have two Flaaffies available to me next turn. So Rope, knock out my one Mareep, gives me two Mareeps that can evolve to Flaaffy next turn. So we'll see what happens. Right now I have one energy in the discard. So I can accelerate one energy, but that's not enough to attack. I need three. I have to accelerate two and manually attach, or accelerate three. If I accelerate three, then I can manually attach to the active and retreat. I've got to see what my opponent does. Obviously, they're going to accelerate to Moltres this turn now, so it's a Darkrai V deck. If that stays in the active, I have the possibility I could one-shot the Moltres V. If they leave that in the active, and that would be a nice start to the game to me to go up 2 prizes. That's the dream right now. Get a 2-prize turn. So let's see. The dream is alive. So evolve, discard. I have what I need. So that is quite nice. So accelerate. Whoops. Accelerate. Whoop. Oh, wait. Do I not have energy in the discard pile? I don't have energy. Still, that's unfortunate, right? That's very unfortunate. So what do I want to do here? I'll get a third Flaaffy, right? So I could retreat, right? I don't think I want to retreat, though, do I? So I'll just attach. Now the problem, I could get knocked out. It's awkward for me. So end turn. So I thought I had the turn, but I don't have I need another energy. And I needed more energies, right? If I needed 2 more energies in the discard, I needed to get 4 energies in play. Well, no, I needed Beach Court. I just needed 1 more energy. If I could have gotten energy in the discard, then I could have re-switched and attacked. Probably my opponent's going to attack this turn. That's unfortunate. So Tails, which means they search for a basic Pokemon, not the EX. That's better for me, right? I'm sure. I mean, not an evolution. I'm sure they wanted to either get a Barrel or the Darkrai V-Star. But they get up a Barrel and they thin with the Ultra Ball. So that worked out well for them too. Playing the Beach Court down to the, which is fine. The difficulty I have is I don't have any more energy. And this I've run into this problem more times than I would have expected with this. It plays 14 energy, which is a good amount, decent amount of energy. It really shouldn't need more energies than that. But I'm not hitting energy as often as I would expect, right? And I think I did everything I could to draw. I could have level balled that last turn just to thin for my next turn, but I have Zinnia's Resolve. I discard 2 cards to utilize it. I might discard the 2 Beach Courts, assuming my opponent's not going to bump their own Beach Court. They could, in which case, I want to have a Beach Court in play, but I probably discard the Beach Courts because that's probably the best play for me. I could level ball first just to kind of thin out my hand before using Zinnia's Resolve. So I don't get knockout this turn. That's unfortunate. I'd have to gust something up. So let's see what happens here. I have Rope, which is useful. All right, so I'm going to... I guess do I want a Pachirisu? I might want a Pachirisu, right? I'm not going to bench it because I don't know if I want to attack with that. And I will level ball, put something in hand. Flaaffy. I have 3 Flaaffys. Can't imagine I want a 4th Flaaffy. So Zinnia's Resolve, Beach Court, and a Flaaffy. I should be okay with what I have there. So I have one energy. So I can accelerate one energy, and that's it, right? So I'm going to make this play. Do I want to throw down that other Pachirisu? I don't think so. I have the other Miraidon as a basic pivot. So I'll just see what happens here. So at this point, they don't have a lot of energy in play, so they can't knock me out. I do have rope, so I can rope and then rope switch, which is useful. I don't, right, no energy in the discard for me, right? So just trying to think through my options. So energy switch, okay, which they can then switch from Moltres to another Pokemon to attack with. So now they have 5 energies in play. 5, 6, so it's doing 180. So they are not knocking me out, which is nice. So if I'm able to get energies in play, I can get the knockout with my Pachirisu, which would be, I certainly prefer that than attacking with the Miraidon EX. Hopefully they can't gust up my Miraidon EX and knock it out. I need to get 2 energies in the discard pile, though. That's what needs to happen here. So I have the question, do I want to use the escape rope or not? See, I play 4 Ultra Ball. Have I seen any Ultra Ball? I've used 1. I have 3 Ultra Balls because I need to get 2 energies in the discard to make use of Pachirisu's attack. That's the question. So let's see what happens here. They might want to be trying to switch out their V. Okay, so oh, they did get knockout. Oh, yes, I see. They did get knockout, so that is not great. I would definitely say, but I have, so they're in a commanding situation here, up 3 prizes to none. But I can take them out. I have 2, 3, so I can fully power up my Miraidon for next turn. So I might want to I might want to research here. The ropes are useful though. So do I want to? So I might just want to sit on things. All right. Well, I'm going to power up the Miraidon. That's one thing I want to do. Oh yeah, I want to use Miraidon's ability here. Probably want to Regieleki. I mean, yeah, Regieleki. Which do I want here? I could take out the Bidoof on the bench. I mean, I'm in a tough spot here either way, aren't I? I think 40. All right, I'm going to go for that guy. I'm just going to thin my hand out with that too. Okay, and all I can do is attack. I could research. I think I want to wait on that though. So I'll take 2 prizes, but I'm still trailing my opponent. They're going to get at least 1 prize on their turn, possibly 2. So it's not a great spot for me at all. So I can double rope them, which I might want to do, because at this point I can't take a knockout with on the active, but I can knock out one of their other Pokemon, right? Obviously, I could have gotten access to Boss potentially if I researched. That was the real primary motivation to research, get some energies in play into my hand, but really wanted to get Boss for next turn. Uh-oh. Are they going? Nope, they're discard. Good. They could have knocked out my Miraidon. They're not doing that, so that's a plus. So the problem is they're going to take a prize, be down to 2 prizes. 210. So they're probably going to be able to take out my Miraidon this turn. I could... Let's see. I could Regieleki something. Maybe that's the play. Maybe I want to use No, so if I want to Regieleki, send up Miraidon. Okay, I think this is the play here. So, and I might want to get then Boss in hand. I'm gonna need Boss, right? So I can. No, I don't want to use Rope, right? He does 120. Because if he doesn't, yeah. So I do this. Pachirisu down. I have free retreat. So I'm going to research. I was hoping to get a Boss, which I did not hit. But, all right, so retreat. Regieleki, they're going to knock out the Regieleki next turn, but it's not the worst thing in the world, so I want to take out the barrel. In a lot of trouble, for sure. I can attack with Miraidon next turn. They'll probably knock out my active. Oh, I do have access to Boss, so that's quite nice also. Actually, so Lumineon gets me Boss. So send up Miraidon. I out of switch cards. My only switching is the 2 Rope, which I discarded both of those. Now it did get me Miraidon. I mean, it did get me Lumineon V, which will get me my Boss. So it's not ideal, but ooh, that could be bad too. Okay. So I want to take out at this point the Moltres with the 3 energy on it. Whatever card has the most energy on it is what I want to take out. So both Moltreses may have 3 energy on it. We'll see what happens here. So they're doing 270. But they're going to do... So at this point, they don't have knockout guaranteed, right? All right, well, that's not terrible either. So I can... All right, so Lumineon for Boss. And then I do have the I'll take a look at my deck. Do I have the Flaaffy? I don't have Flaaffy there. So I have both Boss in deck. Did I discard the Flaaffy? I'm trying to remember now. I mean the Ampharos. So I don't... Okay, so I discarded the Ampharos, unfortunately. So Boss up the Moltres with maximum energy. All right, so I'm going to need to... I guess I need to get a Boss in hand, right? I think I want to maximize my odds of hitting Boss. So let me really thin out my hand at this point, right? Get rid of an energy and a Zinnia's Resolve. Do I have a Pokemon? I do. So now I have odds of hitting Boss are 1 in 8 next turn. I guess I have a lot of energy here, right? 4. So I will put, let's think, I need 3 energy to attack with Regieleki, right? So I will not accelerate any more energy. Take the knockout. There's a good chance I lose this turn, though. Wow, that's a big effect there, I gotta say. A bit stunning. Anyway, got to within 1 prize. We'll see. I think I'm going to come up short. I have to get lucky here. My opponent may just win this turn. They don't win with Moltres. Oh, no. Right, they do 190. So that's good. I can attack with either Regieleki. The problem is I'm down to 1 prize, right? So it does 120 to a bench. So they have game. So a good game to my opponent. I was able to get as close as possible. You know, I think I maximized the deck that second matchup too. So anyway, the deck it sets up pretty well. As you can see, the build is a little bit weaker than some of the other ones in the game, but it is able to win some games, and it's very competitive at this point. And I look forward to, I'm going to improve the deck, I think, in the next video. My goal is, this is the tier 0 deck. When you get up to tier 16, you get a number of additional cards they give you. So I'm going to take those additional cards you pick up by tier 16, put those in the deck, and see how much I can improve the deck. But it's a solid deck. I think it's definitely a step up from the starter decks, but not quite at the level of the top tier decks. But it's worth trying out, and hope you have some fun with it. Take care.